From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, July 27th. On and off showers are expected for today. High humidity. It's going to feel pretty uncomfortable outside. Can't rule out potential severe storms for areas south of Muncie, Crawfordsville line this afternoon. In areas south of I-70, flooding will especially continue to be a concern. High temps in the 80s. And today, the school year starts for several central Indiana districts. Beech Grove, Wayne Township, Clark Pleasant, Community, and Perry Township schools will welcome students back today. Southport High School talked to us, the superintendent, Pat Mapes, on Daybreak this morning. He says the district is looking to catch up on any learning losses from the pandemic. But for today, it's all about getting kids acclimated to the classroom again. Mapes says the district is down 12 staff members and about 25 bus drivers. He encouraged parents looking for employment to apply for open positions. Now to IT Mate and the narrowly advanced Republican plan to ban nearly all abortions in Indiana. A Senate committee voted 7-5 in favor of the ban after adding several amendments. The measure initially banned abortions from the time a fertilized egg implants in a uterus, with exceptions for rape, incest, and to protect the mother's life. Lawmakers voted yesterday to limit how long rape and incest victims have to get the procedure. Those 16 or older could get an abortion until 8 weeks of pregnancy. People younger than 16 would have until 12 weeks. Doctors could also face felony criminal charges and up to 6 years in prison for performing an illegal abortion. That's the same potential penalty for performing abortions under Indiana's current 20-week ban. Before the vote, the committee heard testimony from more than 60 people, both abortion rights supporters and anti-abortion activists, none of whom support the bill. Now the full Senate will hear the proposal tomorrow and will likely add more amendments. Protesters on both sides of the issue did fill the State House for a second day. Several hundred people took part in Indiana Right to Life's Love Them Both rally. Organization leaders say they oppose the bill because it's unenforceable and doesn't go far enough to ban abortion. The group's president warns conservative lawmakers need to act or explain themselves to voters in November. House and Senate committees also advanced inflation relief plans yesterday. The House's plan includes a $225 rebate check for every taxpayer, the same as Governor Holcomb's proposal. It would also exempt diapers from the state sales tax and expands tax deductions for dependents with an additional exemption and larger tax credit for adopted children. The Senate's plan does not include the rebate checks, but it would cap the state's gas taxes for 1 year and suspend the state sales tax on utilities for 6 months. The plans now move to the full House and Senate. A judge has blocked the new state law preventing transgender girls from competing in girls' sports in school. The ruling stems from a lawsuit seeking to allow an IPS fourth grader to rejoin a school softball team. The law took effect July 1st. The ACLU filed a lawsuit on behalf of the fourth grader to block it. The judge ruled yesterday the law violates the Title IX protections against discrimination based on gender. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita tweeted this in response to the decision. The law remains in effect across the state, and we will continue our work to defend this law and to protect Indiana's K-12 students. The court's ruling allows only this particular plaintiff to play this particular sport at this particular elementary school. And city leader in Uvalde, Texas, is calling out the state's governor over the mass shooting that killed 19 children and 2 teachers. A member of the city council says that Governor Greg Abbott will likely ignore the council's formal request for a special session on the state's gun laws. Hector Luivano claims the NRA has Abbott in its pocket. Both the Uvalde school and council and school board are asking state lawmakers to raise the minimum age for buying certain rifles. To Colts Watch, and the first opportunity for fans to see the new team. This is the 4th year the Colts have taken over Grand Park in Westfield. Colts City opens at 10:30 this morning, and the practice starts at noon. There's no charge to enter the camp, but you must get a free ticket every day to enter. Colts fans will have live entertainment, and the first 250 fans to enter will get a free Colts Back in Action t-shirt. There'll be a family-friendly activity zone with interactive experiences for all ages, and, of course, get to see the Colts players as they practice. Now, this time last year, we were dealing with the uncertainty of who was vaccinated and who wasn't against COVID-19, and even if media would be able to enter the practice. So everything right now is back to normal. Mike Pence has written a new book the former vice president and Indiana governor is set to release, So Help Me God, this fall. The publisher says it's a memoir that includes insight on Pence's fractured relationship with former President Donald Trump. Pence and Trump both gave speeches in Washington Tuesday, delivering very different messages. Pence's speech to the Young America's Foundation laid out policy goals on the economy and immigration and hinted about a potential run for president. Here's his response to a question about the divide with Trump.
I don't know that the president and I differ on issues, but we may differ on focus. I truly do believe that elections are about the future, and that it's absolutely essential at a time when so many Americans are hurting, so many families are struggling, that we don't give way to the temptation to look back.
Earlier in the evening, Trump made his first public appearance in Washington, D.C. since he left office. Trump was a keynote speaker at the event called the America First Agenda Summit. He repeated his disproven claims about 2020 election and also urged new moves on crime. He called for tougher penalties for drug dealers and emergency funding for more police officers.
The next Congress and the next president should crack down on this insanity and crack down very, very hard and very, very quickly. The civil liberties of people, the safety of law-abiding Americans cannot be violated by weak mayors and cowardly governors.
Neither Pence nor Trump used their speeches to announce a run for the presidency in 2024. The Mega Millions jackpot grows to more than $1 billion. No one matched all 6 numbers from last night's drawing. With a $1.02 billion prize, the cash option increases to $602.5 million. The next drawing is Friday night. To business headlines, the Federal Reserve will try to wrestle inflation lower when it raises interest rates again today. We expect another unusually high interest rate hike of 0.75%. Credit card interest rates are often the first to reflect a Fed rate hike. Home builders are boosting incentives as they suddenly struggle to sell homes. Meanwhile, U.S. new home sales dropped to the lowest level in 2 years. Rising mortgage rates have been one reason. And this year is shaping up to be one of the hottest on record for the U.S. based on a metric that's crucial to energy traders. The measure is known as cooling degree days, and it is used to track how weather affects electricity demand. The higher the number, the more fuel needs to be used to cool homes and businesses. Ads on Google are slowing down. It says companies uncertain about the economy have been spending less on advertising. And finally, Lego announced last week that it'll be releasing a recreation of the popular video game console Atari on August 1st for $240. Customers who buy the new Lego set will be able to build their own Atari 2600 game console with features including a controller with a joystick that's supposed to feel just like the original. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.